Okay, I promised that I'm going to do part two of lesson five, and that I'm still uh, ready right now to do that. And if you have not watched part one of lesson five, please do so before you watch part two of lesson five. Do so, please, so that you will flow into, because part two of lesson five is a continuation of part one of lesson five. In part one of lesson five, we dealt with speech planning. In part two, we are going to be dealing with audience analysis. Audience analysis. So, what do we mean by audience analysis? Audience analysis is simply a study of your audience, trying to know their demography, trying to know their psychography, so that you'll be able to tailor your message in a way that you can be able to make connection with them and eliminate possible noise that may, come up as a result of uh, errors, that speech errors that could, trigger off some psychological uh, noise and all of that. So, audience analysis helps you to know the age of your audience, the average age of your audience, helps you to know their gender, helps you to know their 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 their, their occupational uh, their occupation. It helps you to know um, I think I've talked about the agenda and all of that. So demographics, it helps you to know their demographics. Let's just put it that way. It helps you to know their psychographics, their attitude, their predispositions, and all of that. Audience analysis is very, very important if you're going to make connection with your audience. Then somebody will say, why should I do audience analysis? Why should we do audience analysis? Why does it matter? I will explain just in a moment. See, audience analysis helps you to tailor your message to your audience and their needs. Because in audience analysis, you identify the needs of your audience, you know their values and all of that. So you tailor your message to fit and to line up with their needs and their values. And you see, when people see that you value what they value and that you are interested in what they need, they will listen to you. They will listen to you. So that's one reason why it is important. The second reason why it is important is because it helps you to have maximum engagement, audience engagement, and understanding. It increases audience engagement and understanding. So you can toy with that, you can play with that. If you really want to be good in speech communication, then you have to do audience analysis. Audience analysis also helps you to anticipate questions or resistance. Because you have studied your audience, you know the things that they will likely, put up resistance against. And you know the likely questions they may ask you. For instance, you go to a community where you want to do immunization for children and you have to speak to them. If you have not done audience analysis, you could be actually, you could actually get into trouble. But if you have done audience analysis, you'll be able to know what the feelings of the people of that community is towards immunization. And then you will know how to, you know, uh, address their fears and address their concerns. Audience analysis builds, helps you to build rapport with the audience. It helps you to build rapport with the audience because now you are speaking their language. It means that you are at their level. You've come down to their level, and so they will open up to you, and they will easily, assimilate what you have for them. Now, audience analysis also increases your credibility. It makes you knowledgeable because the people will know that you know. And because they know that you know, they will have greater level of respect for you because you have, the data, the statistics of, their need and their values. Audience analysis enables cultural and contextual relevance. It makes you to tailor your message in such a way that your message will be culturally relevant to the people you are speaking to. It also makes it possible for you, for your message to have contextual relevance. I attended, a function where where the master of ceremony, and of course, you know that emceeing is speech communication. So, where the master of ceremony actually didn't understand his job, and because of that, almost made very costly mistakes that could embarrass the the celebrants of the day, because the celebrants of the day did not invite him to come and embarrass his guest. So when an MC in a function embarrasses the guest of the person that contracted him, that for me is a very big issue. And the reason that could happen is simply this: the person does not understand the audience, didn't know the audience he was talking to. And because he didn't know the audience he was talking to, he could, he caused a lot of embarrassment. So, audience analysis helps you to make your speech to be culturally relevant and contextually relevant. Okay. Now let's look at factors in audience analysis. Let's look at factors in audience analysis. I've hinted to them, but now let's look at them in a little more in detail. The first factor we consider in audience analysis is demographics. All right. Age, gender, education, income, occupation, you know, and all of those things. Because all of these things will help you to know how to speak. If you are talking to teenagers, 12, 13 to 19-year olds, is a different thing when you from talking to 20 to 45-year olds. Is a different thing. It's a different thing. When you are talking to children, a year old to 10 years, is a different thing. So age is a factor. You must consider it. Gender, male or female, you must consider that. You must consider that. Education, what is the level of education? Primary school. If you're speaking to people that didn't go to secondary school, it's different from when you are speaking to people that went to secondary school or people that went to university. The vocabulary will be different. The vocabulary will be different. So that alone tells you that education matters, is an important. Then income level. Where do they belong? Are they in the middle class? Are they in the upper class? Or are they, just at the bottom? So demographics, you have to consider that. Then you now look at the other factor we consider. I've mentioned it before, psychographics. And psychographics refer to the psychological, disposition of your audience. What are their beliefs? What do they believe? What are their beliefs? Their attitudes, their values. All of those things influence how they see you as a speaker, how they will interpret what you are saying as a speaker. The third thing we consider as a key factor in audience analysis is cultural context. And in cultural context, we are talking about norms. We are talking about traditions. We are talking about language of the people you are talking to or you are communicating with. The cultural context. Then situational factors are also very important consideration in audience analysis. What occasion are we, in? Is it a wedding? Is it a birthday party? Is it a political campaign rally? What is it? And then the setting, where is it taking place? Where is it taking place? And of course, time. So in situational considerations, we consider occupation, we consider the occasion, we consider the setting, we consider the time. All right. Key factors in audience analysis. Then prior knowledge and expectations. Prior knowledge and expectations. You have to consider this. You don't build something on top of nothing. What previous knowledge or prior knowledge do your audience have about what you want to talk about? What prior knowledge do they have? You can't assume that they know something about what you want to talk about. You have to know for certain what prior knowledge they have about what you want to talk about. If you are talking of HIV/AIDS, for example, you are going to a place to talk to people about HIV/AIDS? What prior knowledge do they have in relation to that? You need to know it. You need to know it. And finally, a key factor in audience analysis is identifying the expectations of your audience. Identifying the expectations of your audience. If you take care of these things and you know them for sure, then you can tailor your speech so that all of these things are put into consideration, and then your speech can actually have a good chance of making a great impact. That's where I'll end it on part 2 of speech part 2, lesson 5 of speech communication. Now, if you have any question, put it in the comments. If you have any praise word, put it in the comments. If there are things, topics you want me to also discuss in this channel, communication, of course, relative to mass communication, communication studies, I'll be very glad to address them and put them up here. Now, before you go, do me a favor if you have learned something from this video, so that I can continue to produce these videos for students like you. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, that button there that says subscribe. It is down there. Just press that subscribe button, and then the bell there is the notification bell. Press that bell so that when lesson 6 comes up, you'll be notified. You'll be notified. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. See you in lesson 6.